Hey guys, it's Matt and Kim with Take a Hike, and today we're going to be uh, discussing why we chose to go southbound and the date that we chose, which is the 25th.
So, why did we decide to go southbound and leave for Maine on the 25th of June? I guess first
Well,
we
it
can...
was really just timing, honestly. I was set to get out of the Coast Guard already, so we were looking at how everything worked together, and we'd be moving at this time. So we looked at our schedule, saw that the majority of people heading north were starting earlier in the year, in like March, April time frame. But we knew that we'd be getting out of my job about this time, so we knew that the earliest we'd be able to start was late May or June or sometime around this time frame. So
My sister ended up getting married at the end of June, and then we're leaving at like 4 o'clock in the morning the day after she gets married, and that's why we chose the date we did. I think the reason also for hiking the AT, it all started out as a joke. Matt lived in Virginia, or we both lived in Virginia when he was stationed in Virginia with the Coast Guard. And we saw the Appalachian Trail in Shenandoah National Park, and it was really gorgeous. We didn't know what it was, so we did some research about it, and we thought we would love to do it. Let's just do the Shenandoah portion of the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, so that would just be, a week trip or whatever, and then we started just adding little bits onto it here and there. I mean, we were like, you know what, we're doing Shenandoah, might as well just do the rest of Virginia, and then after that it was like, why don't we just do the
southern half of the
southern half of the trail, and then by the time we started gathering up our gear and actually sitting down to plan it out, we're like,
do the whole thing.
Do the whole thing. Yeah.
So it's been in the making for a good year and a half. So we've been doing lots and lots of planning, lots and lots of saving. We're going to make another video about how we actually afford to do the trail. Lots of ramen soups and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yep.
But yeah, that's why we decided to do it, when we're doing it. Some of the reasons that other people might want to go southbound, some of the reasons that we've heard, although we haven't done it yet, is that when you're going southbound, you're immediately thrown into one of the toughest parts of the trail. Mm-hmm. You're immediately thrown into the whites up in Maine and New Hampshire. And you're thrown straight into the 100-mile wilderness, which if you're going southbound, it takes about 10 days to hike. Whereas if you're going northbound and you're finishing, the 100-mile wilderness only takes you like 7 days. It's really not super terrible once you have your trail legs. Another reason we chose to hike when we did is we also didn't want to make our hike too early. We did a lot of research on when to hike, and we had found that due to the snow melt, you want to hike a little bit later on in June or July and even August. We know some people that are starting in August. When the snow melts, the rivers get very high and it makes fording very difficult in June and July. And so that's why we chose the end of June. We were initially going to start in the middle of July, but because of my sister's wedding, it was forced back, and we're kind of glad it was because there's been some nasty weather.
Yep.
So that's a good reason to start a little bit later if you're feeling like it. But you run the risk of doing a little bit of cold weather hiking towards the end of the trail. Another reason people might want to hike southbound is the weather and the time constraints. So unlike northbounders, which they're constrained by time to get to Katahdin before the park closes, when you're going southbound, you have no time restraints.
Yay.
The parks, at the times that you're actually hiking, do not close in the summer and in the early fall. And then once it gets into the winter, you're in Georgia and there's no parks to close. So you're not constrained by time, and some people even winter hike. They do a lot of very, very cold weather hiking, which we're trying to avoid.
Well, for us, we're both from Texas, and we've spent most of our lives in the southern states, so we're much more familiar with the warmth or with the hiking and heat. So
The
So for
summers
us,
won't bother us very much.
the cold is a little bit different. We're not too used to that. Not too familiar with hiking in that too much. So, yeah, that's just something we had to take into account. But, yeah.
That's why we
For a
decided
quick
to
video.
hike
That's
the Appalachian Trail on June 25th.
Just timing, really, for us was what did it for us. So,
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to take a hike and keep an eye out for some videos that we're going to be posting. We're definitely going to be posting our final gear videos the closer it gets to, even though it's only 2 weeks away, the closer it gets to our departure date. So we'll do some gear videos. I'm hoping to do sleeping and footwear and stuff like that. So we'll see what we can get to, and yeah, like we said, don't forget to take a hike.
Peace.